All right, welcome back to Prepositions Day 2. Santa brought Mrs. P a little something in her stocking, so I'm going to emphasize the prepositional phrases when I talk about them, but I might say, on Christmas morning, I found a Nerf Lady Rebel gun in my stocking from Santa, and what I like to do is I like to hide in my walk-in closet, which is around the corner from the shower. When Mr. Prentice steps out onto the rug, I blast him with my Lady Rebel Nerf gun shooter, and he screams like a maimed white rabbit. Okay, it's just ear-piercing, and he's just scampering around like a wild banshee. So this has brought me a lot of joy. We'll move on to present item number 2, just a moment. All right, for Christmas, my daughter Natalie received a hot pink Barbie convertible. And as pictured here, we have Barbie rolling up to Ken's house to pick up her dashing boyfriend. He's going to climb into the passenger side, and seatbelts first for safety. They will go cruising down the boulevard toward the sunset for a romantic evening at the beach. Rawr. All right. So what I'd love for you to do is, without writing anything down, I want you to just get playful with prepositions. If you want to go back to those airplane making skills from your science lab that we did earlier in the beginning of the year, construct a little airplane, or think about the latest video game that you're playing, or a snowball war that you had with some neighbor kids, or just anything new that you got, whether it's a little ripstick or a little electric scooter. And I want you to come visit your list of prepositional phrases. So the only thing you need to find today is our prepositions document. So go ahead and find that, and then we're just going to do a little chatting about some playful things that you might have been occupying your last little 2 weeks with. All right, I will pause, find your list of prepositions, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so maybe it wasn't a Barbie car, probably not, or Nerf guns, but describe something that you've been messing around with using prepositional phrases. So my kids got some little remote control cars, and they're driving them around the house, or after the cats, down the hallways, over our feet, right? All that stuff. There's, Lego building. They're building Legos on the table. The towers are climbing toward the ceiling, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So see if you can come up with 4 little sentences you could say using prepositional phrases about something fun you've been playing with lately. Meet you in a second. All right. And so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to check your exercise 1, pick up where we left off from yesterday. So we'll scroll and roll down to that one. We did the first 5 together, so we're going to pick up at number 6. If you need to pause the video to find that, do so. But here are the answers. So number 6 had 3. I told you they had 3. The stamp show begins. So stamp show is the subject, begins is the verb. Prepositions tell you how, when, or where. Where on Monday, during vacation, from school. So there's 3 of them. I try to make them different color to identify them easier. A new housing development has been constructed. Prepositions tell you where or when. Across the river, from town. There's 2. Number 8 is a command. So meet me. So meet is a verb, and I'm really talking to you. You meet me. When or where? In 20 minutes at the corner of Henry Street. Number 9, let's study together before the math exam on Friday. And number 10, sometimes tricky, but of is a preposition. So the exam, a test of 2 of the chapters from last week, was difficult. We won't put any super tricky ones like that on the quiz. But there we go. There's 6 through 10. If you want to pause to review those, you're welcome to do so. Otherwise, we're going to scroll and roll down right here to Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. So once you know prepositions, it's hard not to start noticing them everywhere, and they're often very present in song lyrics. So we're just going to enjoy a little Grandma got ran over by a reindeer, and as you listen, see if you can pick out some prepositional phrases. Here we go.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, But as for me and Grandpa, we believe she'd been drinking too much eggnog, and we begged her not to go. But she forgot her medication, and she staggered through the door out in the snow. When we found her Christmas morning at the scene of the attack, she had hoof prints on her forehead and incriminating claws marks on her back.
All right, fantastic. So here we're going to I'm going to put parentheses, that seems to be quicker, around our prepositional phrase. So Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. So I know over is a preposition, but that's like if I skated over the hill, or I jumped over, I don't know, my friend. Over in this sentence is not being used as a prepositional phrase. It's just over, but it can be a preposition. It's just not in the sentence. So we go to the next one, by a reindeer. She got ran over by a reindeer. Walking home. Where was she walking home? What's the next preposition I come to? Find. From. From what? From our house. There you go. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. Any prepositions in there? For me, and Grandpa. There you go. She'd been drinking too much eggnog, and we begged her not to go, but she forgot her medication, and she staggered. Where'd she go? Next prepositional phrase you find, through the what? Through the door. And then you have another prepositional phrase right next to it, into the snow. So pause whenever you need to if you need to catch up. No big deal. When they found her Christmas morning at the scene of the attack. So in this one, where's our next two prepositional phrases? I'll give you a second to find that. They found her Christmas morning. How, when, or where? And you come up with, they found her where? At the scene is one. And then we know from our last exercise, of is a preposition, of the attack. Continuing, she had hoof prints on her forehead. So she had, subject, verb, but where, when, or how, where were they? On her forehead. And incriminating claws marks on her back. And then it just repeats. Grandma ran over by a reindeer, so by a reindeer again, from our house, Christmas Eve. All right, we got that. So we are going to move on to our next fun little activity, and that is called The Great Escape. Okay, and then we'll do exercise number 2, and then we end with a little fun, Mission Impossible. So The Great Escape, we usually pretend that, we usually are at school in person during this, but you're bored. You're staring at your Chromebook, virtual learning. The minutes are just crawling by like an eternity. So you make a clever plan to escape out your house. Describe your route to freedom using prepositional phrases. Let's shoot for like 6 to 8 today. You can use parentheses. You can bold them. You can highlight them. Definitely refer to your list at the top of the document. And if you can, try for an example of figurative language and then some awesome action verbs. So, during crew time, I logged off of the Chromebook. Carefully, I slumped under my desk. Thinking fast, I slithered like a snake toward the door. With no time to lose, I burst out of my room. I creep near the front door. Turning the knob to the right, I flung open the door and escaped to the outside world, leaving the virtual world behind me. So, let's check it out. You're right here. You're bored. Your Chromebook. Got to have a clever escape plan. You cannot stare at the screen any longer. Describe your route to freedom using prepositional phrases. So now we're going to put them into writing. So we want to try out 8. Bold, highlight them, put parentheses. You can use some figurative language like I crept like a ninja. You're creeping, you're crawling, you're sneaking. Okay? So you could say, if we could just start with one. If you're not sure how to start, you could say, after our morning check-in. So you want to get out early, right? You don't want to waste the whole day at home. So after a morning check-in, and then take it from there. Shooting for 6 to 8. I'll say 6 to 8. And I'm going to pause, or you can pause the video and go for it. And normally I'd have you share out in class, quite fun, but use our list of prepositional phrases at the top and describe what you're going to do. You're going to bust out of your room. You're going to go down your street to Norton Mini Mart. You're going to pick up some, I don't know, Big League Chew, bubblegum, whatever you want to do. It's your escape plan. Let's go. Okay. Should you need an example, here it is. So during crew time of the Chromebook, under your desk, like a snake, toward the door, with no time, out of my room, near the front door, to the right, into the outside world. Very nice. Okay. So we're going to do one more preposition exercise just to make sure we're ready for our quiz coming up on Friday. And Friday will just be identifying prepositional phrases. So join me on exercise 2. Pause my video if you need to get there. But here we go. We're going to identify 25 prepositional phrases in these sentences. So number 1, juicy strawberries grow. Strawberries grow, subject, verb. Where do they grow? Where, when, how? Where do they grow? They grow near the fence. So what is my object of the preposition? Near's my preposition, but where's the object? Near the what? Fence. Fence is the noun. That's called the object of the preposition. So the object is like above the what? Above the trees. Under's your preposition, but what'd you go under? Under the roof. Into the what? Into the trap. So it's called the object of the preposition. It's like after the what? After the game. It's that noun that ends that prepositional phrase. What did you go inside of? Inside the house. Where did you go beyond? Beyond the fence. Okay, so let's do number 2. The doctor's office is around that corner. So I know around is a preposition, and I stop at around the what? Around the corner. Okay, there you go. Opposite the old statue, you will see the library. Prepositional phrase on this one. Where is it? Opposite the old statue. Pause at any time as I do this. Okay, just practicing. The broken lawnmower is behind the barn. Where is it? Behind the barn. There you go. Above the entrance is a large warning notice. So the notice is a subject, is the verb, but where, when, or how? Above the entrance. So prepositions tell you where, they tell you when. Number 6 has 2. I walked inside the building into a smoldering heat. So I walked is my subject verb, and then what do you have for prepositional phrases? We have inside the building, boom, and into a smoldering heat. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to allow you to continue on, and then we'll meet right back here to check. So pause the video, continue on, rock out with the next 7 through 15, and then when we come back, we'll have them all done so you can check your work. All right, meet you in a second. Okay, so hopefully you had enough time to do that. Number 7, the building obviously had no air conditioning, prepositional phrase, in the lobby, where? And number 8, we have a pack of them. What do you expect to buy in the village during our day in town? Number 9, the climbing party approached the Rockies when or where? Near dusk. The novel is a romantic tale of the Old South during the Civil War. So those 2. And 11, when? In the morning. Where? To the west. Number 12, where? The trunk. In the attic is where it is. Contains some old dresses. 13, between you and me, the test on integers. And 14, inside the large closet, against the wall, in back. And 15, under the bed, for a glimpse of the shoes. All right, so we're getting a sense of it. Soon in future writings, the way you started with an adverb in your risk essay or an ing, like dashing toward the, or carefully or craftily, we're going to ask that you start a sentence with a prepositional phrase in future writings, like under the moonlight or at midnight or with a menacing stare, right? So it makes your writing more fluent, more interesting, especially if you can link a bunch of them together to create a flurry of action. And so that's what we're going to do here. Our final activity today is Mission Impossible. You are a Special Forces agent working for the government. Your mission here is to recover stolen plans And these plans, they're very valuable. They have fallen into the wrong hands, allowing someone to create a horrific weapon. You are on a stakeout. You are spying on the perpetrator, using prepositional phrases to describe how you will bust into his or her compound and recover the stolen plans for our government. Use around 7. So here's mine. At midnight, I will bust through his door and run across his lair. Finding the plans in his fanny pack, I'll snatch them quickly. Giving him a roundhouse kick to the face, I'll dash out the window to my getaway vehicle. So go ahead and highlight those prepositional phrases. So they're words like at, through, across, in, to, towards, out of, behind, before, after, inside, outside, to. Okay, so try it out. If you need to, you can scroll and roll very top. There's your list of prepositional phrases. And tomorrow being Wednesday, you're going to just have a very short little bit of work. And then Thursday, you're going to be with Mrs. McCaskey doing some wipeout action, prepositions to create like a sense of action and excitement. So you're going to write this right here. Now, I recommend that you use the Mission Impossible theme song as some background inspiration. Have fun, enjoy, and we'll see you back here soon.